Okay, so we've got the AccelByte SDK integrated here and device login after opening the menu. We're going to add some matchmaking to here. And for the first step there, going to be connecting to the lobby so we can get notified a matchmaking match result. So we can ask Claude to do it for us. Let's give that a try. Okay, so go up the menu to get it to log in and connect, hopefully. Great, now that's working. We can go ahead and submit a match ticket. First, in order to do that, we'll need to add it to the menu. So okay, well, let's give it a try. Bolt up there. Find match menu item. Okay. Now that's working. We can go ahead and get it to submit a match ticket, except for things first. Well, we can do this first, and then we'll go set up matchmaking in the portal. While it's doing that, we might as well go set up the match pool. I'm going to go to multiplayer matchmaking, matchmaking configuration. We're going to go ahead and use the create a new rule set, default template. Okay, doesn't have to be the same, but it makes it easier. Just keep auto backfill. And let's say we want to go from 1 to 4 players. Kick in a new match pool. We're going to use our Quake FFA rule set. Let's just choose default. We can change that later if we need to. Oh, that should do. Don't need to customize any of it. Good. Summary. Okay. Let's go see if Claude is done. Oh, there we go. Just whether way you want. Good. So now we just need to join the session. Okay, done. Let's see how it goes. All right. Connected to lobby, create a match ticket, join the session, start as host, patch the session up. That's not going to work. Okay, now that we've got matchmaking working, I want to make dedicated server run in AMS so we can matchmake into it. Unfortunately, the SDK that we're using here doesn't actually implement the watchdog protocol, so we're going to have to do that from scratch. Okay, well, it launches now, but I think we want to make sure that NS is getting stabilized. The other thing we're going to have to specify is the port. Great. We're going to need this command line when we configure our fleet. I want to give a quick check to what it actually did here. Make sure it's correct. I guess we don't need to run a Windows dedicated server anyway. We're going to have to build it for Linux. All right, well, I don't have the SDK source to build the Linux libraries just now, but I can solve that problem later because we can run the dedicated server Windows using AMSIM and do the end-to-end. I'll try that for now. Okay, well, let's get AMSIM so we can test this out under the watchdog listening. I'm in here to the admin portal and multiplayer servers. Don't have an AMS account. Let's make a new one. It's ready. We're gonna need to go to downloads and I'm gonna grab this one. We'll need this one later once we can do Linux builds, but I'm not going to worry about that for now. Just go here and grab it. Okay, I should have put it here, right? There we go. Then we can run MSM run. Okay. Now if we run the dedicated server, it will connect. Hey, it's working. Now you can see also, if we're going to MSM, we should see yes, connected. And it's in state creating because we're not calling ready yet. Cloud been working. Good. So DSID, how about this? And let's try it again. Is ready. Excellent. Okay. Now quit it in a sim because we need to make this show up as a local DS. Here we go. The portal. Now we're going to go to Fleet Manager and actually on servers, local server. Okay, so this is where we should see it when it shows up. But we need to fill out the AMS config. Environment URL, namespace. Now we'll need a client ID and secret for this to work. And let's fill in this for localhost. I'm gonna need that part. All right. So now it's connecting it to my environment, but it's not able to authenticate because we haven't filled in the client ID and secret. So let's go here, go to identity and access. I am client, so we're going to need to create a new one. The name, it's going to be confidential. And copy. has to be this. Now it's going to need some permissions. Let's go see what those need to be. In our local server, we can see that there's some links to the documentation here. So we're going to need this permission. And that should do it. From now, pop back over here, give it a shot. We get connected. So that should show us on the local servers. Nothing here yet because we don't have a Quake DS running, but we run it. And DS connected, ready signal end. And here you go. This is our dedicated server all ready to claim. So now we've got a DS showing up portal ready to claim. And now I've got the Linux binaries for building a Linux DS. But first, there's a couple of other changes we need to make. So first thing is we're going to need to handle the drain signal in the dedicated server. So okay, so let's give that to Claude to implement. All right, Claude is done. So let's try it out. Okay. DS is connected. It's in ready. What if we say DS drained? Then it sends a drain signal and it exits. So that's great. Let's try with the player connected to make sure that it doesn't exit immediately when it drains. We're going to have to change configuration from dedicated server to the regular one. Okay, I guess we have to use the debug config for some reason. Launch it. Then we should be able to join the player, join the game. And the port is, what port did we run it on? 27015. Trying. Oh, I don't think it's going to work. Wonder if that's my server running on WSL is the problem. Well, as long as we use a Windows dedicated server and client, can't work. So we start that up. Sure, we know what port it is, what it's worth listening to. Then start this up. Connect 172. 7L15. And we're connected. So, see over here, that's still running. Player entered the game. And here, if we say guest drain, sent the drain signal, but drain received, waiting for one player to disconnect. Now, if we quit, and both of them go away. Okay, so next, we're going to need to update the matchmaking logic to connect to the dedicated server. Let's give that to Claude to implement. I think I want to chat about that. That's what the logic is implemented. Let's try it out. I started a Windows DS and it's connected to AMS Sim, which has registered it with AMS. It's currently in the ready state, available to claim. I've also started a game client, which we'll use to find a match. Great. It's found a match and connected to the dedicated server. If we refresh the status in the admin portal, we can see that the server is now claimed. Thanks for watching.